is up, fellow revolutionaries? How are you today? So, it's Saturday, if that means anything to anyone at this point here in the quarantine. If you have jobs, if you have income, God bless. I'm so happy for you. Praise God if you have that. If you received government assistance in any way, if you've been able to rely on anyone, if you've found shelter, refuge, anything, whether it came from government or loved ones or state, I hope you're finding some kind of relief now. And be an answered prayer if you did. So, thought I'd talk to everyone. I know I haven't been as available or active lately on the page, not saying that I don't watch. Yes, just because I'm not readily responding does not mean I don't see everything, because I do. I definitely do. It's been an absolute pleasure to still stay in contact with my councils and, of course, watch the productive chaos that happens to be the page. So, as you've all seen, I planned on getting this before nightfall, before the sun was down. I'm sure maybe in a time zone somewhere that there's the sun's still out. So I guess I kind of came through on my promise there. But yes, as far as the direction and future of Ancapistan, one of the things I wanted to make very apparent and readily known to everyone is that yes, I'm wearing a Harambe Savage shirt. That's what this is all about. I'm just trying to get the lighting to look less Crypt Keeper. So in staying away, it's not that I haven't been engaging. Obviously, I'll swoop in when it's absolutely necessary, and I'm still talking to the different councils. But in asking what are you a vessel for, there's so many different things during this crisis we could be vessels for. And if you're on lockdown, whether you do or don't have resources, financial or spiritual resources, if you're all stuck indoors, or you're being discouraged from going out, or you can't go out, a lot of the issues from the outside world start disappearing, and what becomes abundantly clear is the inside issues. And inside us and inside the page become one and the same, because this is no new concept. I've said this multiple times in other New World videos since the outbreak and lockdown, that who we are on the page is who we truly are, because that's where we all exist now. There's no more, oh my god, I went to the DNA Love Reloaded one and that shit was lit, or I went to the second one and no one showed up, or I went and hung out in Sanford for this event and some DNA people showed up after. Like that's not a thing that happens anymore. So it's like, did you see so and so in the threads? That's all we have now, fam. So when I talk about internal to external development, all the issues on the outside for whether people showed up to an event or not, or who said what, or how drunk someone amusingly could have gotten at a Tom and Dad event, or the slew of horror stories from us, from What's the Fuss all the way up through. And not to go on a tangent, but to bring back, I can go on this whole minute thing of LOL back in the old world, but that's really where we're at now, is that there's an old world and a new world. And where we hang out and our issues are no longer whether people showed up at an event or what we did out in the physical world. It's all digital now. That's the only place that we all exist or do anything. And shout out to Jameson and everyone else who are still managing to keep local music alive right now. But yeah, when we talk about personal development from as individuals and on the page, and me staying away because I can't do anything without a tangent, but in staying away, part of being the administration is there's mods, and the mods exist completely freely from me. Like, do I message them? Yes. Do we have messenger councils? I think it's pretty abundantly clear who I talk to the most. And believe it or not, the people that you think I hate and argue with the most, I'm sharing memes with, too dank for you all, and I'm super close with. And there's a reason for that, is that there are plenty of people who will tell you that the administration, is or isn't certain things. But one thing I'm not is a tyrant. And I allow everyone to be themselves on there. And I'm not going to go on there and say, okay, everyone needs to become Jesus Freak, ANCAP, Epic of Gilgamesh, Apocryphal, Dead Sea Scrolls Christian. No, that's not what I'm saying. If I started tossing people out because they didn't agree with me, it would be like, what, me? Come on. So the long tangent with I'm saying, considering how me not engaging as much and not so much allowing, but truly celebrating the idea of freedom, where you can all hang yourselves with your own ropes, you can all say or do whatever you want, but I'm not really a pillar of freedom if I'm going in there kicking everyone out who I don't agree with, or their approaches, or how they handle stuff, or what they believe in or not. That would be ludicrous. So what I can do is do what I've always done, which don't lead by executive order, lead by executive example. And in asking yourselves what your vessel's for, let's apply that to politics. I had said on my last video, I'm like, okay, you're gonna rock MAGA, let's, it's obviously up to you, but don't rock the pussy grabbing, don't rock the trail of racism and ties to the alt-right and all that. And no, I'm not trying to sit here and bash Orange Man. No, it's not what I'm trying to do at all. Yes, I know, so badass to hit your vape on camera. What I'm getting at is that if you're gonna be MAGA, then be the best MAGA that you can. Like, you don't need to go in there and defend Trump when he does something shitty. You want to fly the Trump flag? You want to rock the MAGA hat? That's great. Be a vessel for the positives. But, don't waste valuable data, whether it's unlimited or not. Or, let's face it, all of us dedicated revolutionaries that click on a notification whether we want to see it or not, don't make it suck for us. Don't make it suck for you. Just, if you're going to be MAGA, represent the best stuff about MAGA. For all of you that supported Bernie for the reasons that I did and more, where it was the one candidate who actually stood up for, feed the poor, take care of single moms, all the stuff that Jesus said about the neighbor and stranger, you should care about them because I wrote it down and it's in the Bible, and Jesus himself said to treat the stranger and foreigner the opposite of what we've seen. And the long and short of it, kids in cages, that was done under Obama, so Trump simply enforced the law. And I'm not trying to go into a tangent, but I'm saying, if you're going to represent Trump, be the best parts of that. When it comes to the people who represented Bernie, obviously we got screwed again, but it wasn't about Bernie. It was about more than that. And I, for one, plan on going out and celebrating. If you represent the left or people on, the Democrat side, chances are you're probably some of the only people who have given up your own time, resources, phone banking, and going door to door to try to make life better for conservatives who otherwise vote themselves into poverty over faith and other stuff, which is a whole separate conversation. But I'm not just going to sit here and highlight MAGA and not mention the other side, but you should also be the best vessel for positivity on the non-Trump side. I don't know who the left or the left will spit up, but in me staying away from the page, and not engaging as much. I'm still watching everything. Like, don't think that I'm not, because I definitely am. But it can't be freedom, and it can't be Ancapistan, and it can't be the People's Page if I'm simply going in there throwing out everyone whose approach I don't agree with, or everyone who I find obnoxious. Lord knows I'd have to shut the whole page down. And also, it's why I started the DNA lockdown lifeline, so people can let out their feels and shitpost with less judgment. And PNA, of course, I adore them too, but this page only can remain what it is if the administration holds not only the power, but also setting the example. So no, I'm not asking you all to become pen loving, formerly ancient ancestors being cave dwelling Christians who are cool with the Jews. No, I'm not asking you all to convert to, my brand of ethics or spirituality. But what I can do is this. You all know where I'm standing, and you all know where my ethics and morals stand. So what I will do is I'm going to continue to watch, jump in when necessary, but ask yourselves, what are you vessels of? Are you vessels of anger and frustration during this? Are you vessels of the plans and or manipulations or vendettas of different parties? Because I know you're all better than that. So plan on leading by executive example, not executive order. And at the end of the day, don't forget, as the administration and as a leader, I'm reminding you that you are leaders, because you are the revolution. And we will see you in the threads.